Hey there, Washington Commanders fan. Today we're diving into one of the most intriguing stories happening behind the scenes of the Washington Commanders, and I want to see what our team's going to pull off on Sunday. So stick around till the end of this video because today we're talking about a reunion story that's going to stir up some emotions. And don't forget, our last news item today is an exclusive analysis. Now, to start off, you know that partnership, almost like a brotherhood that many players develop throughout their careers? Well, on Sunday, two guys who formed one of the greatest duos at LSU in recent years will face each other for the first time in the NFL. Jayden Daniels, our quarterback, will be up against none other than Malik Nabers, the Giants' wide receiver, and his former teammate at LSU. And look, this story's just beginning. Let's understand how this connection might impact the game and what we can expect from this showdown. It's worth remembering that Daniels and Nabers aren't just any rookies. These guys were absolutely dominant, and I'm not exaggerating. Daniels, our QB, racked up an incredible 6,125 passing yards and 57 touchdowns. Plus, he rushed for another 2,019 yards during his time at LSU. And it doesn't stop there. He also won the Heisman Trophy in 2023. As for Nabers, he was a real nightmare for opposing defenses, catching 161 passes for 2,586 yards and 17 touchdowns. The numbers are impressive, but what's even more striking is the chemistry they built off the field, which undoubtedly made all the difference on it. And this connection? Well, it's going to be tested in a very different way now, with the two on opposite sides. Now, if you think this friendship is going to hinder their performance in Sunday's game, think again. Both Daniels and Nabers know how to separate things well. In a recent interview, Daniels mentioned that they still talk, but this week will be different. He even joked that there won't be much chatting until the game, suggesting that despite their brotherly relationship, they're focused on doing their best for their teams. On the Giants' side, Nabers was clear in saying that without Daniels as his QB, he probably wouldn't be in the position he's in today. But on Sunday, friendship will take a back seat. And that, my friend, only increases the anticipation for this matchup. Now, talking a bit about these two's NFL debuts, both showed they didn't come to play around. Nabers led the Giants in receiving yards in the first game against Minnesota with 66 yards on 5 receptions. As for Daniels, despite the Commanders' loss to Tampa Bay, he had a solid performance, completing 17 of 24 passes and rushing for 88 yards with 2 touchdowns. He showed why he's compared to big names from the past, like Robert Griffin III, and even made history by becoming the first quarterback to rush for 2 touchdowns in his debut since Daniel Jones, ironically of the Giants in 2019. And speaking of Daniels, what can we expect from him in Sunday's game? The Giants' defense is already on the lookout, especially defensive coordinator Shane Bowen, who highlighted how explosive Daniels is. He eats up grass, Bowen said, referring to the speed at which our QB can advance when he finds a gap in the defense. But of course, this is no news to those who followed him at LSU. We know that Daniels' ability to pressure opposing defenses is his big differential, whether throwing or running. What he did in the first game of the season already showed that he's ready for the NFL, but the game against the Giants will be an even bigger test. On the Giants' side, the defenders are also worried about Daniels. Brian Burns, the team's linebacker, was emphatic in saying that our quarterback's speed is one of the biggest challenges they'll face. And more, he commented on Daniels' confidence on the field, even after bad plays. This, according to Burns, makes him even harder to stop. But honestly, this confidence is something we, Commanders fans, already expected to see in Daniels. After all, anyone who saw him play in college knew he wasn't going to be intimidated by the NFL scenario. But as a fan, I have to admit that seeing Nabers on the other side will be strange. This guy was Daniels' faithful partner at LSU, and the fact that they're now on opposite sides is something that stirs the emotions of those who followed this duo in recent years. At the same time, it only adds to the drama of the game. Who will come out on top? Nabers knows Daniels' playing style well, and this could be an advantage for the Giants' defense. On the other hand, Daniels also knows how his former colleague likes to position himself on the field, so maybe he can help our defense neutralize him. And the most interesting thing about all this is that no other Giants player has the familiarity that Nabers has with Daniels. This puts extra pressure on our QB, but it also creates huge expectations, because if there's anyone who can surprise the Giants' defense, it's him. With his running talent and passing accuracy, Daniels has everything it takes to exploit the weaknesses of the opposing defense. And honestly, I believe he's going to do just that. But what do you think, fan? What do you think will happen in this duel? Will the connection between Daniels and Neighbors be a decisive factor? Or will the fact that they're on opposite sides now bring a new dynamic that no one expected? Stay until the end and comment your opinion below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to not miss any updates, and leave that like to strengthen us. You won't want to miss anything that's coming, because this season promises a lot. Now back to Sunday's matchup. This game isn't just about who's going to win or lose. It's about a reunion, about two guys who, together, were unstoppable in college, but who now have to prove they can shine on their own in the NFL. Daniels already showed in the first game that he has everything it takes to be the leader the Commanders need, but will he be able to maintain this level against a defense that knows so much about him? And speaking of which, we can't forget that our defense also has a crucial role in this game. We know that Neighbors is a danger on the field, and the Commanders' defense will have to be at its best level to stop him. But honestly, if there's one thing I trust, it's our defensive line. And you fans know what I'm talking about. We're going to need everyone playing with maximum intensity, pressuring the opposing QB, and not letting Neighbors breathe. Now, we're bringing you news that, look, caught a lot of people by surprise and could significantly change expectations for the Week 2 game against the New York Giants. Everyone was excited to see our cornerback Emmanuel Forbes Jr. shine, but unfortunately, he's officially out for this matchup. That's right, friends, it was head coach Dan Quinn himself who confirmed this loss during the press conference this Friday. If you want to know all the details and the impact this has on the team, stay with us until the end because this news is promising. Now, let's agree on something. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, subscribe now and hit the bell icon, because we're always bringing exclusive and updated content about the Commanders. And of course, leave a like, that helps us a lot to keep bringing videos like this. So let's get into the details of this news that's stirring up everyone. For those who haven't been following, Emmanuel Forbes was injured during the Week 1 game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He participated normally in Wednesday's practice, which left everyone hopeful, but on Thursday, the scenario changed. Forbes had limited participation, and on Friday, he didn't even take the field. Wrist surgery was necessary, but according to Quinn, he won't need to be placed on injured reserve, which is a relief. But hold on, we'll talk more about this. Now, the big question is, who will fill Forbes' role in the starting lineup? The coach's answer was clear. Veterans Michael Davis and Noah Igbenogany will step up. Those who watched the Week 1 game saw that Igbenogany already substituted for Forbes and even did well, recording a tackle and a pass deflection. But can they handle the Giants' offense? We'll see that on Sunday, and it doesn't stop there. Besides Emmanuel Forbes, the injury report brought more concerns. Clelin Ferrell and safety Quan Martin were also added to the injury list, with knee and tendon issues respectively. Both are listed as questionable, which means we're not sure if they'll be on the field Sunday. This is worrying, especially because the defense will already be shorthanded without Forbes. Another headache for head coach Dan Quinn and all of us fans. Looking on the bright side, good news for the defense is the progress of rookie Johnny Newton. This kid has been impressing the coaching staff, and Quinn even mentioned that he might have a bigger role if he's fit on Sunday. The guy is coming off a good recovery, and if he plays, he'll reinforce a defensive line that had a somewhat dim performance in the first week, managing only 1 sack against the Buccaneers. And we know that against Daniel Jones, who has a 5-1-1 record against Washington, any help is welcome, right? Now tell me something, fans. Do you think Michael Davis and Noah Igbenogany will be up to the task? Look, I'm optimistic, but with my feet on the ground. Their experience counts for a lot, especially Davis, who has played 146 career games and was a starter for 5 seasons with the Los Angeles Chargers. And there's more. The guy has recorded at least 1 interception in every season since 2019. That's the kind of experience we need on Sunday. But of course, football is unpredictable, and Forbes' absence will be felt. Speaking of absences, the rest of the crew on the injury report has also been giving us something to talk about, but with good news. Tight end Zach Ertz, safety Tyler Owens, offensive tackle Brandon Coleman, running back Brian Robinson Jr., and offensive tackle Trent Scott fully participated in Friday's practice. So, at least in this aspect, we can breathe a sigh of relief. These players will be available against the Giants, and they could be crucial in securing a home victory. Now, the focus is entirely on this game, and with a patched-up defense, the Commanders will need to outdo themselves. The Giants' offense has a quarterback who, as we mentioned, historically plays very well against Washington. The challenge is huge, but with fan support and adjustments made by Quinn, anything is possible. I really believe that with the right combination of veterans and the possible debut of Johnny Newton, the defense can adjust and contain the Giants' offense. It's going to be a tough game, but the team has the capacity to surprise. And speaking of fan support, I want to know from you, fans. What are your expectations for this game? Do you think without Emmanuel Forbes, our defense will be able to handle Daniel Jones and the Giants' offense? I want to see your opinions here in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with friends who also root for the Commanders. The more people interacting, the more exclusive content we'll bring. And to wrap up, I'll leave a question hanging. Will Forbes' absence be the decisive factor for our defense this Sunday? Or is there another name that will stand out and surprise? What do you think? Stay tuned, because this game promises strong emotions. Now let's see how this unfolds on Sunday. And as always, go Commanders!